Up YouTube, let's go. I'm finally going to film an update on learning scales. Learning scales take one, which is a weird thing to say because I've obviously been practicing scales forever, for years on the classical guitar. But this is the first episode of like a learning video where I talk about and reflect on my progress learning scales. Scales have just always been a challenge for me. I feel Chris has always said that I'm like a natural arpeggio player and not so much of a natural scales player. So I have all sorts of issues in my hand, like the pinky will get tight, the thumb will wiggle around, the middle finger would curl, all sorts of things like that. But it's getting better, and I am excited. So today I'm going to be talking about this last week where I was on vacation, and scales don't take vacations, y'all. I practiced every single day, and I want to talk about some of the new ways that I've been practicing scales recently. So I think that there's some clever ideas, maybe some ideas that you might want to pick up for yourself. For the most part, these are ideas that work for me and the way that I like to work, maybe my brain, like I like to work very systematically. Um, and I'm pretty sure that this system is going to work for me, and it has been so far. So, one thing is just having a goal in mind. Like, that's huge. Just having a goal in mind. And so, I've recently talked about scales with my teacher, Christopher Ladd. And I was like, yo, if I was a conservatory student at heart, what speed do you want my scales at the end of January? And he said 92, middle, index, rest stroke, and free stroke, all major and minor diatonic scales. And I'm like, thank you. Now I have a goal in mind. Like, I know, okay, if I need to be at 92 at the end of January, and currently I'm at, say, 80 roughly, um, I need to increase about 1 BPM per week to get there. I wrote this out in a spreadsheet because I like to track data. I am a data tracking nerd. I'm a software engineer. Guitar is my passion and hobby, but day job is software, y'all. So by the 22nd, I need to be at 82. By the 29th, I need to be at 83. On December 6th, 84. December 13th, 85, et cetera, until we get to January 31st at 92. I think that we can get there. So I want to talk about a couple of ways that I have practiced in order to be breaking through the current barrier, the current wall that I've hit. Like, it feels like I've just hit a plateau and I'm having a hard time getting through a certain barrier. I've tried in the past, and a former teacher recommended just go for it, dude. Just go for it. And that didn't work. I developed some really bad habits that I'm still paying off technical debt on. In particular, the curl of the middle finger. Like, the advice to just go for it and just play faster and just go for faster speeds didn't work for me. It caused some technical debt that I'm having a hard time paying off. Um, you can really get used to developing bad habits, and you can get used to playing with those bad habits. And maybe for some people, you can just keep an eye on that and fix it and clean it up over time. But for me, that has not been the case. For me, I got very used to playing with certain habits, and it doesn't feel wrong. It doesn't feel bad at all, but it is. It is holding back my ability to go faster. So, uh, a trick, like a true fact about scales that I've learned is that you cannot just practice slow. You will never get faster if you just practice slow. You're never going to get there. You have to be practicing at the edge of what you can control. For me, my approach is right now, I want to be at the edge of what I can control, of where these problems, the thumb and the pinky extending, um, and like other things that can come up, especially the middle finger curl has been what I've like really just been watching out for a long time. Um, and yeah. So this is a boring video, just naturally. I think this is so niche. This is literally just like a amateur, a lover of art talking about how I'm practicing scales. Like that is very niche. But for a certain niche audience of other classical guitarists, I think that this might be helpful. So why don't we just jump into it for a second? I do want to explain this guitar and other things, but let me just play you all the scale, okay? Here is where my scales are today. Um, so today, here we go. Let's see, live, one take. You know, you only got one shot. Don't miss your chance. Here we go. All right. Well, when I watch the video, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see this. Like, I think that I'm feeling the pinky kind of tightening a bit, and I'm getting a little bit of banana thumb. But yo, like it's getting faster. I can feel that it is getting faster, and I didn't clock it, but I feel that that was 88 ish, 84, 88, maybe 92. Um, and now that I have a target in mind, I can work on, okay, now I'm I'm there. I don't need to practice faster than that. Now I've roughly gotten to the right like goal tempo. For me right now, my goal tempo at the end of January is 92. Let's stay here, let's plateau, and let's clean up these things. So how am I doing that? I'm not practicing scales up and down the full scale like I just did right now. Instead, let me show you Mujo. So scales don't take vacations. Here are my practice logs from vacation. I was in Hawaii. That should have been the very first thing I said in this video. I'm doing a terrible job as a YouTuber. I was in Hawaii last week and it was amazing. I went to an Indian wedding in Hawaii. Like, holy freaking crap. First Indian wedding of my life. First wedding, or first time ever being in Hawaii. And the reason that the fact that it's an Indian wedding is interesting is that it's a multiple day event. Like, wow, this was the nicest wedding that I'll ever go to in my life, I'm pretty sure. And I'm just so grateful for that opportunity. But I really miss being on stream and hanging out with you all every single day here. So I'm excited to be back. But even if I go to Hawaii and I go to a wedding, I'm still going to practice. Like, I have to practice every single day. I did not practice a single minute of music, y'all. I didn't practice music at all. I just practiced scales for the entire week because that's how I'm going to get better. I got to go in like 1 minute. So, shoot. There was more that I wanted to do in this video, but I just realized at the time. I flew out on the 18th. Here's Mujo. Mujo is my app that I'm building. It is a practice log for musicians. Here, I did scales in bursts on the third string for 5 minutes. Then I did scales in 3 bursts for 6 minutes. Then I did 5 minutes of scales in 5 bursts. Whatever. Then 5 minutes in sevens, in groups of seven. So you pause between each burst of notes. That was the 17th. Here's the, oh wait, no, that was the 19th. Here's the 20th. I did 9 bursts, 11 bursts, 13 bursts, 17 bursts, 5, 9, 13, 17, 21, 25, 29. On the 21st, 9, 13, 17, 21, 25, 29, 33. On the 23rd, on this day, I just got back, like, after traveling and being so jet lagged, I hopped on stream and I still practiced. And so I did a tiny bit of Regandi 1, it looks like, and a tiny bit of Regandi 5, but mostly I practiced scales. Now, what is cool, why do I have a bunch of different practice items, all about scales? Each one of these, every time that I practice, I am saving 3 different tempo. There's the base standard tempo, like right now my 3 bursts is at 104. But then there's a control, like safety tempo. At this tempo, I'm practicing for like 2 minutes or so, and I'm watching for the form of the hand. I'm really trying to be picky about how much is the hand acting up, is the thumb bending, etc., etc. Then I'm doing about 3 minutes at a working tempo. This is the next tempo that I'm trying to get through, that I feel I'm overall relatively productive at. Like, I am getting some efficient practice at this tempo. And then if I feel like it, I do a tiny bit of time on like a pushing, like sweaty tempo that is just like a little bit too much. Yeah, so everything gets 3 different tempo that I'm saving. When I save those tempo, it's automatically taking notes. So at the end of a week, I can spend 15 minutes if I want to and just write them all down in a spreadsheet. So in this spreadsheet, I've been collecting all of these numbers, and it's just very motivating to see those numbers going up slowly but surely. The goals are over here on the left. My goal is 82, and I can do a lot of these exercises at more than 82. By the time I'm doing 8 groups, 8 beats in a row, that's when these numbers really start slowing down. But I can do it, and I know that by January, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to hit all of these consistently, 92. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you for tuning in. There's more I wanted to talk about in this video, but you know what? This is good enough. Shipping beats perfection. That is a saying that I always like to say. So thanks for watching. Take care. Bye. I gotta go. Thanks everyone who's hanging out in the chat live today. All right. Bye, y'all.